Hi everyone, and welcome to Biopilates Deep Dive. Today, I'd like to take you into one of the fundamental, almost iconic exercises of the Stott Pilates method by Merrithew, the single leg stretch. It's a movement that shows up often in basic routines, and yet it continues to impress me with its depth because it speaks to us about stability, breath, coordination, and awareness. It teaches us or reminds us that movement begins from within. This exercise is Pilates in its purest form, precise, deep, intelligent, and above all, accessible. What I'd like to offer today is not a demonstration, but an experience. Because it's not the aesthetic of the gesture that matters here. It's what it activates within you. We begin lying on our back, legs bent to 90 degrees in tabletop position. The upper body is slightly lifted, scapulae stabilized into the mat. Already, just in this setup, a lot is happening. We activate the pelvic floor, the transverse abdominis, the obliques, the multifidus, all the muscles that support the deep core. Then comes the breath. An inhale to prepare and an exhale to stretch one leg out diagonally as low as possible without compromising the position of the lower back on the mat, ideally starting with an imprinted spine. As that leg extends, the hands come to the bent leg, one hand outside the ankle, the other inside the knee. We inhale again, and at the next exhale, we switch sides. It's an exchange, a rhythm, a flow, each movement carried by breath. And within this breathing loop, we learn to stay centered, to keep the pelvis stable, the spine aligned, the shoulders relaxed. What fascinates me is how the whole body participates in this stability. The transverse abdominis plays a central role. It gently compresses the abdominal wall and maintains intra-abdominal pressure through the lumbopelvic region. The obliques support the diagonal movement between arms and legs. The multifidus muscles at the back stabilize each vertebra like discrete but essential tension cables. The rectus abdominis completes the structure by maintaining the upper trunk in a soft, controlled flexion, and I want to shine a light today on two muscles that are often overlooked in explanations, the iliacus and the rectus femoris. The iliacus is a deep, discrete muscle, yet vital. It originates from the inner surface of the ilium and inserts on the lesser trochanter of the femur. It's a primary hip flexor. In this movement, it works eccentrically as the leg extends away and concentrically as it returns. And because it's deep, it also contributes to pelvic stability. The rectus femoris, on the other hand, is a bit more visible, easier to identify. It originates from the anterior inferior iliac spine and inserts on the base of the patella. It crosses both the hip and knee joints, hence it's biarticular. It assists in hip flexion and knee extension. In the single leg stretch, its role is subtle but essential. It accompanies the leg movement, but if it becomes dominant, it can pull the pelvis forward. That's why we always remind practitioners to keep a sense of length and lightness rather than brute force. This exercise is highly adaptable. It can be made gentler or more challenging. You can keep your head down if your neck is sensitive. You can decrease the range of motion of the extended leg. You can slow down the pace or use double breathing for more fluidity. You can bring in a fitness circle for sensory feedback or keep your hands on your knees for added stability. The goal is not to go further, it's to go with intention, to find that sweet spot where the movement becomes supportive, where breath becomes your guide, where everything aligns around your center line. Another key point, it's essential to engage the multifidus, the short and long rotators, and the obliques to properly stabilize the pelvis in imprint during the leg movement. Why make this a regular part of your practice? Because it strengthens your core, it improves hip mobility, it develops deep muscular endurance, it refines coordination between limbs and breath, and most of all, it keeps you present. There's no cheating here. This exercise exposes imbalances, habits, residual tensions, and at the same time, it gives us the tools to correct them. It teaches us to listen, to adjust, to refine. It teaches us to feel. And that's probably what I love most about this movement. It's not just about strengthening, stretching, or stabilizing. It's about building a body language, a vocabulary of movement that helps you know yourself better. And once you've integrated that language, you can take it everywhere with you into other exercises, into your daily life, your posture, your breath, your way of inhabiting your body. So yes, the single leg stretch is a small movement, but it holds the weight of something big. It embodies the fundamentals of the Stott Pilates method by Merrithew. And most importantly, it captures what I try to pass on to my students every day, the ability to move with awareness, to breathe with intelligence, and to engage fully with each gesture. Thank you for taking this time with me and for listening to this episode of Biopilates Deep Dive. If this exploration resonated with you, feel free to share it, talk about it, or come experience it with us in the studio. And most of all, keep moving with intention. See you very soon.